Why is technology hard? Okay, let's get into the kidney update. So a couple weeks ago, I spent 8 hours at a hospital getting test after test after test ran, and they rate you on a scale of 0 to 100 for your health. 0 is death, 100 is like optimal health. It's like less than 1% of the world. How I got approved to donate my kidney to essentially a stranger. So here we go. Okay, let's try this again. So I had to do a 24-hour urine collection. So I couldn't work out leading up to this collection. And you had to drink like a certain amount of water. You couldn't overdrink water and whatever. And you couldn't take vitamins. You couldn't take supplements, things like that. So I had to pee in a jar. Essentially, I posted about it in another video for 24 hours, collect my urine, and I had to be at the hospital at, I can't remember, I think it was like 8 a.m. But I live at like almost an hour away, so I left early, went to the hospital, handed in my urine, and then just waited. And there's a whole transplant floor. Actually, there's a whole transplant building, I think, but we're mostly just on the second floor. And it was really humbling. So you're supposed to bring a support person, but it was like a Monday. I didn't have anybody that just could take off work kind of thing. My mom was gonna come with me, but she ended up getting sick, so I was by myself, and it was crazy. And then you go in the back, and it's just, you walk, and it's just row of rooms. I was in room 23, so that tells you how many rooms there are. There was like over 50 rooms, and you get in a room, and they give you a chart, and they just say, these are the people you're gonna meet with today. And these are the tests we're gonna run, and have you been fasting, and blah, blah, blah. So I got blood work done. They pulled 6 tubes of blood in the beginning, and then I met with these people. I'm gonna see if I can find a chart. If I can find it, I'll post it here. So I have my own dietitian, my own pharmacist, my own nephrologist, I hope I say that right, a surgical team, and my own psychiatrist, and my own social worker, and my own nurse transplant coordinator. So all of those people are on my behalf. And I had to talk with each one of them. They asked me why I was doing it, if I felt like I was able to. They asked, and I will have my own physical therapist, I guess, as well, for after the transplant. The one that took the longest was the psych eval. It took like over an hour, and they asked questions I kind of already thought of. And so some of the questions that kind of made me think twice, but I kind of already thought about is like, okay, you're giving your kidney, and I have a really rare blood type, and so the question was like, you're giving your kidney, what if your daughter needs a kidney in the future? You already gave yours. And I had already thought of that. My daughter and I are the same blood type, so that checked out. And then there were questions of like, so I'm donating essentially to a stranger. It is my cousin's husband's cousin. So I do not know this person. I met them on social media, and I met them, told them I was like doing this anyways. I would donate on their husband's behalf so that he could get a kidney. Him and I are not a direct match, and that was the last I had talked to them. So it's not like I'm like besties with this person getting my kidney. But one of the questions, which was a good question, I thought was, so normally the recipient always feels better and the donor will always feel worse. We're taking an organ that's totally fine out of the donor and putting it in a sick person. The sick person's automatically going to feel better. And the question was, how do you feel if the recipient has a hard time being around you because they feel guilty that they put you in pain and that they caused this pain on you? Obviously, I didn't have to worry about that because the recipient and I have never seen each other, so I've actually never talked to him. I've talked to his wife. So, but I thought that was a good question. A CT scan with IV contrast. So I'll post a picture. So here's a picture of me just getting the IV in, and they put contrast in. I've had it before, but if you've never had IV contrast, it basically, you feel it going in, it feels really warm, and it rushes to your groin for some reason, and you think you're peeing. But you're not. Well, they say you're not. I don't think you are. I didn't. So it feels like you're peeing, and they scan your kidneys, and like the CT scan, I don't have a problem with small spaces, so I went in that tube a million times, no big deal. Then I got chest x-rays, and then I went back to my room, and they took 15 vials of blood. 15. Plus additional 6 they had taken. I had given 21 vials of blood at this point. Next, the nephrologist comes in and he asks additional questions, and then they tell me which kidney they're taking. So typically, in a donor, you have one really good kidney and then one that's like not really interested. And what determines a good kidney is the way, I think your kidneys are back here. My scar will be right here by my belly button. They're mostly, that's where the hand's going to go in. But basically you have like your kidneys come off of your center, and if they branch too early, it's really hard for the surgeon to take those and to place them into somebody else. They want longer branches off, is how they kind of explained it. So both of my kidneys rate the same. Both are good. Not one isn't stronger or stands out like it'll be better than the other. So they're still not sure if they'll take my left or they'll take my right. So the only difference for me is the scar will be either on this side or this side. That's the only difference for me. And there was a thought if they could go through my C-section scar, but my C-section scar is so low, they said it would actually cause me more pain because they would have to move all my intestines and things that are in the way. So after that, the nurse came in and she said, I can't officially approve you yet because I have to appear before a board, but you are essentially approved. She said, give me a week. So I gave her a week, and then I got a call. And the call was from her, and she said, you are approved to donate on this person's behalf. I'll give you a few days to call the family. And so I just got to message the wife, and I was just like, hey, I know you have a lot of support, I know you have a lot of family, but I'm doing this for your husband, if you need a kidney. And she was awesome. She was obviously very grateful, and she just said, like, how are you feeling? And I feel good. Like, I honestly feel good. I'm not worried. Everything the road has been paved, essentially. So he is now strong enough to receive a kidney, and he's ready, and I'm ready. And even though he's not getting my direct kidney, we will both become active, is what they call it, in the system in September. Because my kidney will be shipped off, they said most likely it'll go to California, and they like put a GPS in the kidney, like box, like kidney goes in the cooler and then the GPS goes in the cooler, so they watch it. Super cool. Anyways, basically I go active, and then I get a call and they say, hey, surgery scheduled for this day, and that day is usually 2 to 3 weeks out. So I will have 2 to 3 weeks to get all my stuff in order and donate my kidney. So exciting, nerve-wracking. I mean, it's a little nerve-wracking just because I'm voluntarily putting myself in pain, but you can't argue with helping somebody. It'll be worth it.